So this is it, I presume.
Oh, look, sir. There's already a chalk line there.
I see that, Detective. Why so quick to mention it?
Well, I guess I didn't think they would need to do that for, ponies.
According to what Trixie told us about this world, there are not so many differences.
I just don't get it, sir. What about the weather? Not to mention all the different kinds of magic. If those aren't differences, then what are?
I meant that, mentally, everyone here is quite the same as in our world. That will come in handy for me if we uncover some witnesses or possibly even suspects.
Oh, now I get it, sir.
Remember, Mr. Edgeworth, don't go trying anything slick.
Yes, I'll keep that in mind.
Let us begin then.
The distinct lack of blood reminds me. Where can I get a copy of the autopsy report?
Trixie sent for it a while ago. It should be here any minute.
We'll have to wait for it then. Seems we'll have to analyze on our own for now.
Ah, the tension of a crime scene. Nothing like it, baby. Evening, boys. How's it looking? Oh, haven't seen any of your kind before. Who are you?
It would appear that I'm an investigator in this case. My name is...
It doesn't matter what his name is. Trixie is the leader of this investigation.
Hey, pal! Don't interrupt Mr. Edgeworth like that!
Hey now, why so serious? I'm just an inspector. Please, call me Inspector Cannabella.
What is your name again?
Cannabella, baby.
That's... impossible. It cannot be. But his name was... Carbonella, if I remember correctly. He looks and acts in an eerily similar manner. It can't be just a coincidence, can it?
You okay, sir? What's with that look on your face?
It's nothing, Detective. Inspector, you wouldn't mind if I asked you some questions, would you?
Not at all. Shoot.
Can you tell us a bit more about yourself? And I would really like to hear about your...
Trixie will not allow irrelevant questions. State your business, you effeminate clod.
I've just come here to bring you this.
Oh yes, the autopsy report.
Just in time. It's rather interesting that I would run into someone with such a stunning resemblance in a place like this. But I think I'll leave my questions about this Cannabella for later. It definitely feels strange to suddenly be tossed into an investigation like this, in an entirely unfamiliar land at that. But if I'm needed, I suppose I won't be able to turn back now. At the very least, I'll have something interesting to do during my time off. However, I should keep myself focused if I'm expected to solve anything. For now, it's best to concentrate on the investigation at hand.
That handwriting. It seems so familiar. Every document is well detailed and informative. Interesting. The documents speak of a witness named Fluttershy. However, there is no documentation of her testimony. How very curious. Well, that was informative. Be that as it may, I'm still having trouble believing that I am in another world, one where Pegasi control the weather, and unicorns perform great feats of magic. If these documents are to be believed, the foundations of this world's physics are entirely different from my own. It appears my knowledge of this world is fairly limited, meaning that no matter how long I stand here, I won't deduce anything at this time and place. Miss Trixie didn't mention that I couldn't leave in the time I was allotted, and there's nothing more I can do here for the moment. I I suppose I have nothing to lose if I investigate further, and I'm sure she won't mind if I take my investigation out. Ah! The door handle is discharging electricity! There may be something around here that could protect me from being electrocuted.
Professor Layton has found himself in quite the predicament. The one door that leads to the outside shocks him whenever he tries to grab the door handle. There's something in this room that will help the professor escape without being electrocuted. Find the object and click it.
Let's see if I've got this right. Ah, wonderful.
Good eye! Dry wood makes for a good insulator for electricity. The desk is now in even worse shape than before, but Professor Layton has formulated an escape.
My word, everything's so colorful. Even though it's evening, it is so vibrant and beautiful here. Strange. I feel somewhat like a prisoner who has just escaped. I need to find... What was it again? Ah, Fluttershy's house. I believe there was a map in that pile of documents. The correct way is... there! There was nothing in those documents regarding humans living here. Perhaps I should stay hidden for now, so as to not frighten the town's residents. So, if my calculations are correct, this is her house, or cottage as it were. I hope she isn't asleep or in questioning. Otherwise I will have broken that poor desk for nothing. Good evening, little friend. Don't be afraid. My name is Herschel Layton. Would you mind if I speak to the mayor of the house? Is she sleeping? So, I can't see her. That means yes or no? Greetings. My name is Herschel Layton. I apologize for the intrusion. Might I have a word with you?
Yes?
Maybe I should approach this more delicately. Perhaps there's something I can do to break the ice, so to speak. I've no intention of frightening you, Miss Shy. Perhaps we could get to know each other better over a spot of tea.
Tea isn't good for drinking in the evening.
Oh, I assure you, it's quite relaxing.
Well, of course. If you'd like some tea, I can make it for you. Could you just wait a second here?
May I assist? I know a lot of recipes that are good for the evening.
You do?
Indeed. I have my own tea set at home, after all.
I have a lot of ingredients, but I don't know many recipes.
If you want, I can teach you some.
I'd like that, Mr. Layton.
Layton is fine. Or just Professor.
I hope you like it. I'm not that good at making tea, but, enjoy.
Not to worry, miss. It's actually quite good. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome.
Well then, if it would be all right, could you tell me a little bit about what it was you witnessed last night?
Oh, what do you mean, Mr. Layton?
On the evening of June 8th, there was a murder in the Ep.3 forest. It is documented that you were present at the crime scene, and that you witnessed something after the time of death.
Yes, I was outside feeding my chickens and I heard something strange.
What was it?
A bolt of lightning. And right afterwards, I saw my friend Rainbow Dash flying away from the forest.
Oh dear.
I tried calling after her as loud as I could to see what was wrong, but she couldn't hear me.
How peculiar. There's no record of what you saw in the documents I received. Did you ever mention this to the authorities?
Of course. Oh my, I forgot that I wasn't supposed to tell any pony about this afterwards. I'm so sorry, Mr. Layton.
On the contrary, it is I who should apologize. After all, it was I who asked. On the other hand, have you spoken with anyone else about this since the police were here?
Well, a big green dog and a puffy peacock came by earlier.
So, sir, can you make a conclusion about all this stuff?
If every piece of information we were given is to be believed, we only have to wait until we receive the fingerprint analysis.
You mean the hoof prints that were left on the cloud?
Yes, that's right.
That means some pony who can fly used the storm cloud to kill this poor guy?
I'm not sure I would call him poor. I have my doubts about the credibility of Mr. Swift here.
What do you mean, sir?
That piece of evidence we found in his backpack. Trixie removed it hastily, but I don't think that was entirely necessary.
You mean those photos?
Correct. I can't think of a proper motive to kill this man. Sorry, this pony, other than his fame and fortune.
I know this one, sir. The rainbow pony killed him because of these photos, right?
Detective. First off, we don't have any solid proof that she was even at the crime scene. Secondly, if she committed the crime, why would the photos still have been here?
So, you're saying you aren't sure if she's guilty, sir?
It's a bit too early to accuse her, Gumshoe. We still have quite a lot to investigate. The results of the fingerprints will give us an idea of where we should go next.
You mean the hoof prints?
Does it really matter?
Hey! I've got some information you might be interested in, Mr. Edgeworth.
What did you discover, Inspector?
These hoof prints belong to none other than... Let's see here. Rainbow Dash.
Really? Aha! Finally, a chance to get back at that meddling Twilight Sparkle. We'll have her little friend taken in for questioning immediately.
That would mean that the contradiction with the victim's photos still stands. If she was indeed the killer, she would have most likely taken the photos before leaving the crime scene. Trixie seems a little over-exuberant at the prospect of incriminating Miss Dash for some reason.
And we just so happen to find some witnesses in the process.
Who exactly? Why am I asking this? I don't even know anyone here.
One Apple Bloom and the other a Miss Fluttershy. Well, we're sure that Fluttershy knows something. However, I'm afraid we couldn't get much out of her.
Trixie will find Apple Bloom and speak to her. There's no doubt that she must be with her annoying little friends. Those rotten little fillies once stole one of Trixie's amazing outfits. We were just borrowing it, honest, they said. Humph!
Sir, this pony's starting to scare me.
I suppose a unicorn with a grudge can be intimidating enough for Gumshoe.
And you, Mr. Edgeworth, will do the same with Fluttershy.
Very well. Why was she so eager to send me to see Fluttershy?
You will report back to Trixie with your findings afterward.
Fluttershy's cottage is right in front of the forest exit. I can guide you there if you need me to.
That would be very helpful, thank you. Don't think I've forgotten about my questions for you, Cannabella.
What's the plan, Mr. Edgeworth?
We will ask the witness a few questions, and then, if nothing comes of that, we will return here as Trixie has instructed and ask to question the suspect.
And what about Trixie?
What about her?
Will she send us back right away?
Well, since Trixie was the one who brought us here, it would make sense for her to be the one who returns us to our home. However, I would like to stay to see this investigation through to its conclusion. If you choose not to, that would be fine.
Alrighty, sir. I'll go anywhere with you.
We should get going, Detective.
Here we are. Feel free to knock knock. The police haven't arrived yet.
Thank you, Inspector. Now, would you mind if I asked you a few questions before you go?
Not now, Mr. Edgeworth.
What? But you seemed capable of answering my questions before.
I promise we will talk later. You just concentrate on your little investigation.
That was... something.
Sir, why are you so curious about him?
It's his name and appearance. I'm sure I've worked with him before.
You met him in Europe?
No, this was after that. Detective, do you remember the break you got after getting into that car accident? When Maya was kidnapped?
Of course I remember. What about it?
While you were slacking off and eating instant noodles in the time following the case, I was out working on another case. But I chose to drop it. It was too... strange.
Strange?
It involved crimes that couldn't possibly have been committed. I can't recall any certain incidents, but that's where I remember having met Inspector Cabanella.
You mean Cannabella?
I'm sure his name was Cabanella. Anyway, you go in first, Detective. I get the feeling that this witness's name speaks for her character. Meeting Gumshoe first could make my sudden appearance easier for her to handle. Alright, Gumshoe. Go ahead and knock on the door. But keep in mind that this witness might give us some trouble. Be prepared.
You got it, sir.
Can I help you?
We're from the Ponyville investigation team, and we hear you got some answers for us. Come quietly, and I won't have to rough you up, pal.
Perhaps I should have worded that differently.